Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to easily beat Esquia's cousin Osquio in Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Now he has the Barbapapa condition that he can apply on you, so I'd actually recommend bringing Lune to this fight. Now you want to try and get Elemental Genesis off as much as possible, so using one of her weapons that can give you stains on free aim shots is great because you're just going to get this and just continually spamming that. She also has Typhoon, which you can heal the team with, which is also a nice one. This attack here, you want to listen for the sound effects. Now a lot of the attacks from Osquio you can actually listen for, except for his punching attack. The rest of them, they're all sound effects, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, I would recommend trying to set up, obviously marked for Mael. That's going to be the biggest damage option there. Verso is great for doing that, so typically I just have him doing the marking shot for her. He does have some decent damage options, but I have him mainly breaking the boss, and that's kind of what his builds are around with the Pictos. And Mael is obviously trying to use Stendhal, and the Gamage ability that she has from 3 gradient charges. Depending on what Pictos you're using, you want to use her typically to use Gamage, or Lune's. Or Verso is a good one too with the Revive, so it's kind of what your team needs at the current moment. That's my recommendation there. I would recommend spending the gradient charge like Hero's holding on to it. I shouldn't have. I should have had Mael use it a little bit earlier instead of the Flare Out Fury to get her into Virtuose stance. But for the most part, I would recommend whenever you're going against him to use this 3 setup here. You can take Verso out and put CL in. CL can use a Fate's Fury to be able to buff up Mael. But once we get into the second phase here, he'll either do a beam attack, which has the sound effects, or he'll do this punching attack, which is a really tough one to dodge. Luckily, I was able to survive this by the skin of my teeth, and we made it out alive. Don't be afraid to use items in this fight. You probably have a bunch of upgrades and haven't used them at all. So then I was able to clear that off, get her to set up her Elemental Genesis again, and go away with it. Now, Barbapapa sucks, but you can remove it really easily. If you got attacks like this that hit multiple times, you see there we hit a bunch of ones, and then now we're actually dealing damage. But also, if you can get the Picto that can remove statuses on heals, that's a great one to use for this, and the one that clears them on Tinks as well. So that's going to be good because otherwise you're going to be dealing 1 damage. Don't forget about that. Always look for it. This attack here is really easy because you just listen for the sound effects, and you can get the Barbapapa from it. Now, don't get overwhelmed by it. It is basically dodge whenever you hear the sound effects. But the nice thing is you can remove the Barbapapa if you're going to do an attack, but it's going to only remove 1 stack per attack. So if you got that extra attack there, it kind of sucks because you just have to use something like the Elemental Genesis to strip it down. Just be mindful how many stacks are left and how many turns your character has. Now that attack there is relatively easy to avoid. I'll play it again here because basically what you're going to be doing is just waiting for him to appear from that, and then there's a pause and then another pause and jump again. It's one of the better telegraphed ones in this fight. But basically the flow to this is getting Verso to either break, like you're going to see here, or set up the mark for Mael. Mael does damage, Lune's there to clear conditions, CL's there to make Mael go again and double her damage with the Urchin's Flurry and her other ability too. But Lune is really the major MVP here, so I think you should always bring her in your first lineup here. And whenever he goes to destroy the world here, the thing that you have to do is after he does his basketball dribbling is actually do a gradient counter against it. The timing for this I think is really easy because I was able to get it off first attempt, and there it is. That's how to easily beat Osquio in Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Subscribe if this was useful.